floods and slammed into a bridge. Nobody knew there were people inside that building. They all survived by hanging onto a palm tree, and that's ultimately what counts at the end of the day. They were found with injuries near the lower area of the riverbed, although their house was up in the hills. The other one was Peng. He's very active in the MASIPAG community. We found both him and his wife beside a coconut tree trunk. Originally, we thought they were dead, since they weren't moving. But then he said something, said his arms were broken. So we carried them into safety. It was so astounding how in just 20 minutes the water was almost gone. My God, people cried terribly. The next day, in the early hours, we went to check on things. Many people were stranded. I went to look for my relatives' houses. They were all gone. The elders said they'd never seen anything like this before. Maybe it's climate change. My first thought was to leave this place. Our fields were gone. Everything was destroyed. The stores were flooded. There was nothing for us to buy.
Wala naman ang palayan. Yun naman mga tindahan, lumubog, wala rin mabibili.
The church's social action and MASIPAG helped us to make our fields viable and productive again. They were all covered in mud and silt. MASIPAG helped us to find rice varieties that would grow under such changed conditions. Some farmers said, no seed will ever grow in these soils again. But the MASIPAG seeds do grow. Go over to my field, the one next to the hut, you'll see them grow.
Yung kapatid ko ay namatay dahil sa sobrang paggamit ng chemical fertilizer.
My brother died of pesticides. He used them for 8 straight years. At first, he got ill. Then his wife and kids followed. That happens if you use chemicals. That made me think. And I decided to find better ways to grow things organically. MASIPAG is based on organic production. That convinced me, along with numerous others, to join MASIPAG's community.
According to the World Health Organization, around 40,000 people die annually of pesticide poisoning. Millions of people are poisoned by them. Why do farmers still choose this way?
They argue it would take too much time to convert all their farming to organic production methods. It's too much effort to weed manually. They say, I don't have the time. If I spray, it's done. Simple and easy. It's faster.
The International Rice Research Institute, or IRI, is located on the Philippines. The green revolution in rice farming began here. Their goal is unchanged, to combat poverty while protecting the environment for generations to come. In 15 significant rice-producing countries, national and international scientists work at the IRI's research institutions. Dr. Sigrid Heuer is one of them. Along with others, she aims to develop more drought and flood-resilient rice varieties.
Was wir hier sehen, ist unser Projekt über den überflutungstoleranten Reis, den nennen wir Sub 1 für Submergence.
This is Sub 1, or Submergence 1, our project on flood-resilient rice. What we do here is we introduce the submergence trait into modern rice varieties by crossbreeding them. We use modern genetic methods to do this, so-called molecular markers. It's like a roadmap. We can find out where the gen for a trait is located. We mark it, and eventually we can make selections systematically.
Wo das Gen sitzt, sichtbar machen und können ganz gezielt selektieren.
Even at IRI, scientists are concerned about diversity as it is required for the breeding progress. New varieties able to adapt to a changing climate and other new challenges can only be bred from existing varieties. Therefore, IRI's largest treasure vault is their gene bank. More than 100,000 varieties from all over the world are stored here. The seeds are kept in cold storage, where they are well protected from volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. This comes at a price. Roughly $30 million are required to keep the institution running. The list of donors is significant: the German government, Bayer Crop Science, and the Bill Gates Foundation. Agricultural companies also finance IRI's work. In order to get the profits they want, they need to roll out their varieties and products on the farmers' fields as quickly as possible. As a result, research frequently reflects their agenda. The advantages of the private sector are therefore indisputable. The advantages for farmers, however, are far less clear. New varieties often come packaged with recommendations for pesticide or fertilizer use, guaranteeing growth and success. SL Agritech is one of these companies. Its focus is rice hybrids. With the aid of Professor Yang Longping, the so-called father of Chinese hybrid rice, they developed specialized varieties for the Philippine market. To fully reveal its potential, hybrid rice varieties need to be purchased anew on an annual basis, distinctively opposite from the MASIPAG's philosophy. Henry Limbon Leong aims at making SL Agritech the market leader in rice hybrids.
As far as our company is concerned, we are at the forefront of trying to teach our farmers on how to plant high-yielding varieties. And not only, of course, in the Philippines, in Indonesia we are there. We also have a 17 tons per hectare production in Indonesia. We have in Bangladesh, we are in Vietnam. We have also very good performance in Nigeria. Rice is still the biggest category here in the Philippines. It's even bigger than the car industry or other processes put together, food put together, and also occupies a bigger space of your stomach every time you eat. So I think we are in the right line of business.
Okay.
Whether this is the right business for small farmers to get into, however, is questioned by many. Elizabeth Cruzada criticizes IRI's results.
IRI and the Green Revolution was affecting the direction of agriculture negatively in the country. They even called it genetic imperialism, because when they changed the seeds, with the change of seeds, taking away the traditional varieties and changing these with the high-yielding varieties, meant that everything in the landscape of agriculture changed in the country. Even the mentality of the people is now more cash-oriented, because previously rice was seen as sacred. It was really saved, because you could only plant rice once a year. But when they planted rice twice a year and got more, it became really a cash economy. Rice became a crop for the market.
The people at IRI and similar international agricultural research institutes believe new varieties can only result from modern technological research methods. On the other hand, MASIPAG farmers are also successfully developing new rice varieties adapted to climate change. Currently, 65 rice breeders are developing new seeds, passing on their knowledge to young farmers.
Look, this is how we remove stamens and prepare the plant for cross-breeding. We call this emasculation.
Pepito shows his students how they can achieve a specific cross from two varieties by determining which plant will be the father and which the mother.
Take off the bags and check whether you can still find flowers with pollen.
Muli ay i-check up kung mayroon pang bulaklak.
If you see any leftover stamens, remove them carefully.
Yung bawat isa.
To achieve this, the stamens are removed from the female plant and the male pollen is distributed on the female plant.
Para sigurado.
The bags prevent other than the selected pollen from fertilizing the female. The small number of seeds originating from this plant will need to be multiplied and studied for several generations to see whether they fulfill the breeder's expectations. In this particular case, Pepito chose a short-stalked variety as the male and a nourishing female variety in order to combine these two beneficial traits.
Bidokad daw, parang may tumubong bukol.
A tumor was growing inside my gut. I had to have it surgically removed. After 3 months, however, the lump returned, so I had to undergo surgery again. At the same time, we had a very poor harvest. My father decided to get a mortgage on the land. We didn't have animals or equipment to sell, so without rice, we had to get the mortgage.
Kaya isang lamuna yung lupa.
Bali 3 hektarya yung sakahan nila. Yung 3 hektarya.
They had 7.5 acres.
Yun ang inaipagsanla.
They got a mortgage on 5, leaving 2.5 for their family.
Yun lang ang.
That's why I joined MASIPAG. I wanted to learn how to recognize good varieties and how to breed myself, so we could have better yields in the future.
Maraming anihin talaga. Kahit sa isang hektarya lang itanim, tapos maraming anihin. Kaya nagkuhan ako na makatuklas ng binhi na maraming inaani.
At yan, kasi kung hindi kayo
You can't get there without your own research and trials.
hindi kayo maka-identify.
You need to be able to find crop varieties for your own land, your own needs. You need to verify your crop choices every year. That way, you don't need genetically modified plants or even chemical fertilizers. You cannot ever give up the research on your farms.
So, I'm Jimmy, working as a farm manager here in the backup research. So, this is the harvest of our varieties. So, this net bag is all varieties that are already harvested, and we have supposed to be dry it, but the sun is not available, and we have to put it here.
In addition to the trial farms, MASIPAG maintains a national backup farm, along with 3 regional backup farms. Unlike Erie's seed banks, however, the seeds are sown out annually instead of being in a cold storage. That way, the seeds naturally adapt to the annually changing environmental conditions. This is only a small fraction of the thousands of rice varieties originally created by farmers on the Philippines and elsewhere around the globe. A vast number of varieties were lost to the Green Revolution as high-yielding varieties and modern agriculture came to the country. Thanks to the work of networks like MASIPAG, farmers once again are able to dip into a small percentage of the original diversity. It's a free service too. MASIPAG farmers get their seeds free of charge from other farmers in the network. Dr. Chito Medina, National Coordinator of MASIPAG on the performance of MASIPAG varieties.
With that selection in the specific localities, they can get comparable yield to that of the modern varieties or high-yielding varieties, even without using chemical fertilizers and pesticides.
We began farming here since 1980. In the 1980s, we began planting corn, which is monocropping. So monocropping is not good for me, the result, because we have that is very expensive, and I don't like that anymore because we have so many debts and the lending institution. So here comes the NGOs. They learn us about sustainable agriculture, and I'm very excited about that.
For Mana Akayen, organic agriculture is primarily a question of biodiversity. She is well renowned for her expertise amongst